Welcome back to the channel, guys. Finally getting some time here to take on some more maintenance on this thing, or maybe preventative maintenance, I guess. 2008 Grand Cherokee, and I've recently upgraded to 255 70/18 tires. Don't have a lot of wiggle room between pinch weld and everything else in there. I find myself bottoming out here and there already, just on speed bumps, so trying to get ahead of this thing for once. So today's task is going to be kind of opening up this wheel well, accessing that pinch weld, cutting it back, doing my best to seal it up, and kind of go nuts with cleaning and prep and everything else I can to kind of get this thing back the way it's supposed to. So as far as how it goes, everything's pretty going to be self-explanatory. It's just going to be different steps you can take to kind of clean things up as you go. Everything I've watched so far has been extremely hack job when it comes towards how to deal with this plastic. I don't feel like cutting that out and just leaving it. I've seen too many, and I guess examples of that going sideways. My last Jeep started to rust there over the years, so I really like to just kind of maintain that wheel well liner best I can and actually keep crap out of there. Some people go as far as just kind of rubberized gravel guard, seal things up. My OCD is going to put me a step ahead. I'm going to go with a full-on seam sealer, feather that in as best I can, gravel guard it. The plan was to kind of gravel guard and rubberize undercoat that whole underside, but seeing how a lot of it is just the wheel well liner itself, I may just spray down the wheel well liner, or I may just go nuts and spray as much of that as I can, clean things up. As far as attaching the wheel well liner after, everyone just kept recommending getting a rivet gun, which seems kind of counterproductive, seeing how, one, I'm buying a tool that I'm never going to probably use again. Two, anytime I want to get in here, I'm going to have to cut those rivets and then re-rivet everything, which isn't really the plan. So I picked myself up some of these little push pin type retainers. Kind of seems like what's already in there, so I don't know why you wouldn't just go with that. So that's what I've got. Random sheets and protective things so I can cover things off while I'm cutting into things, while I'm painting things. My grinder of choice, I'll just be going with a kind of cut-off wheel on this. Don't be that guy. Use some kind of eye protection. Everything's pretty safe. I'm sitting up on jack stands, wheel chocks, so I can't think of anything else that I'm missing as far as ways to keep this thing safe. But you've got this far though, and you're tackling something like this. I'm sure getting your vehicle up in the air is not part of your task. So we'll kind of get going here. You guys can watch me rip this liner out and see what we got to work with. So the only thing I'm kind of missing from tools that I didn't mention was I've ordered a heat gun. The plan is to try my best to see if I can heat that up and somehow make that not have that bulge in that. If that's going to be as much of a headache as I'm picturing it's still going to be, the plan will either be to cut it out and rivet in another piece of ABS or plastic. Someone else mentioned plastic weld, another piece in there. Basically the goal is just to try and do my best to actually not make this a spot. It's just going to leave my vehicle open to moisture and shit getting behind there and rusting things out over time. As far as getting into this thing, doesn't look like it's going to be much of a headache. Like, we've got these same little push pins in parts, and you've got the same kind of things over here. I guess different quality. This one's already broken. The ones that are intact, you can use a screwdriver to kind of actually properly pop out that center bit. Obviously, don't lose it. Left here, the other side is completely missing some. You can see here he's tried to use just a kind of a push pin style. We've got another one over here, small one, center pops out. It'd be nice to just have these all be one style. I can tell he's got something zap strapped to the front of this. I have no idea what's going on there, so for now we're just gonna cut those. So I'm sure whatever is attached to that is not meant to be coming out with me. feels like some of the fabric underlay in the back. So thankfully, not really a whole lot holding this on. Surprisingly easy to get out. Easier than anticipated, I guess. There. I think I can tell why in the past I opted to just leave that out. There's so much stuff in here that I don't want just getting soaked. For what you got to work with here and see. Like I've got wiring for the lighting, some stuff that I can clean up, and all kinds of other crap that I really don't need getting stuff thrown up. Well, that's kind of cool for what it's worth. Someone has already done my pinch weld mod. It hasn't been cut, but it's been entirely smashed out of the way. So bonus to me, I guess. That totally saved me a whole bunch of steps. What I can do is probably see if I can maybe do, if it's even worth doing one more cut. I don't know how much of an issue that's going to be being up higher there. But I'll try my best to kind of get that a little flatter, and if not, maybe just one cut higher up. It's kind of hard to see here. You just got to watch for where the actual pinch welds would be. They kind of, it's really hard to show on camera here, but you can kind of feel where be the spot like that, and a spot up there, and a spot up there. Huh. Well, that kind of, I guess that's a good thing. Kind of throws my my plans of what to do with my day here. The reason for kind of keeping that wheel well liner in. You can kind of already see all that crap catching up in there. My last Grand Cherokee, this is kind of where stuff was catching, and that's definitely an area you want to keep covered up. Same within here, is once that starts piling up with debris and shit, it just starts rusting out, and that's the last thing you want. So yeah, wow, that totally simplifies my day. I didn't even know that was an option. I was already trying to think of trying to get this done as few cuts as I can. So maybe I will still try and paint this up the best I can. The plan was also, in the spirit of going overkill, was that every time I kind of walk back here, you could just see how, just some rocks get tossed up and shit. Walking by, it just kind of looked like a bit of an eyesore, and I figured it wouldn't hurt to clean all that up too. So I guess that frees up time to tackle something like that. I'm going to assume that if I come around the other side, I'm probably going to have the same process here. Which also leads me to wonder, with having no metal behind, is it really a big deal to cut out that plastic there, seeing that everything's already bent out of the way? I'm either going to open up a can of worms, make things look like shit, or not. So I guess I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more and figure out what the most straightforward and cleanest approach this is going to be. Definitely a bonus, I guess. Definitely still thought I had the pinch weld, seeing as you could still see all that. But so for the sake of the video, this is going to sit straight out, almost like a knife edge, and it sticks out roughly the width of that. So you got about an inch or so at least. And the goal and the plan was to make cuts without getting into here, without hitting a spot weld. 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, 4 cut kind of thing. Using my small sledge, hammering that flat, and then with that seam sealer, it's basically you've got all those open cuts, open paint, was just to really just seal that back up as close as I could, and then use that rubberized gravel guard to just coat everything. Make sure that all my fresh cuts and open metal was just going to be sealed and painted up the best I could. But yeah, I guess the end result is going to look like that, but probably a little more hack-like. So the only thing I might do is just do 1 cut a little higher up and just kind of take that in a little bit flatter. At this point, really isn't going to buy me anything, because I've got nothing really left to cut. And if I'm really worried about that, then I can be worried about other things. And right now, That doesn't feel like the issue. I think the only thing that I was really rubbing on was the bit of plastic bulge that was left out, and that clearances itself over time. I don't know, might not be as bad going that route and just leaving it versus cutting it out, and I guess we'll see what the heat gun can do, and I don't really know. I guess that's a good thing. How often is it that you go tackle something on your Jeep and someone beat you to it and you just didn't notice? No complaints, just yeah, kind of makes it hard to teach you guys how to do the pinch weld mod. I will figure this out and go from there. So still haven't decided what I'm going to do with that bulge in the liner. It does feel like I can kind of stomp it flat, so I'm thinking with the heat gun maybe I can deal with that. As for the inside, I smashed this down a bit more, quite a bit more. I've got it to lay pretty much flat, so I don't think I could have asked for anything better than that. Found some other spots where it was kind of sticking out. Unhooked my brake line. I've done my best to kind of use a sheet to kind of mask this off. So once this wind dies down, I'll probably give this a good spray with that rubberized undercoat. Don't know if I need to do anywhere else in here, but I figure do my best to clean it up. And I'll probably just give that a good spray at the end when I'm done, just to kind of make it look like I've been in here doing something useful. As for that though, everything's looking pretty good, pretty flat. I can't see any other issues, so just gonna clean things up, put things back, I guess. So this stuff's pretty straightforward. Goes on thick, kind of hides things just the way you'd want to. Does a good job of kind of cleaning things up anyway, so just make sure you hit all the spots that you might have been worried about. Really don't see anything here. As you can see, it doesn't really need it. It's probably going to get covered up anyways, but excuse to kind of clean things up a little bit. Light coats. Come back if you need to. I've seen some videos where guys were just layering this stuff on like whipped cream, and that's not really the finish I'm going for. Not bad though. At least you can kind of, looks a little cleaner. I'm sure it takes care of that 0.11111% that maybe I'd have some rust down the road, but yeah, regular old and nice and clean at least. That's about all I can do for now on this side. As you can see, taking your time to kind of take stuff off. I'm bolted here, wrapped up the shock's pretty good. I was able to kind of get in behind, so I don't know, for a couple minutes of my time I've definitely cleaned up the back of this. This will cover a lot of that, and I'll figure out what to do with that. I will probably just spray this the same. I'm probably going to get some kind of 3M kind of fabric glue. It's even worth my while to kind of get that on there more securely, or I might just rip that off. We'll see what's worth the time doing that. But yeah, that's about that. Essentially, thanks to someone, we were all done on this side. I'll put things back together. We'll check out the other side, see if I'm as lucky and someone's tackled the other side. Do the same, and then maybe we'll look into see if we have enough time left to spray the rear. So I'm putting things back together without the wheel liner for now. I'll either fight my way through it or pop the wheel off again, as I'm still waiting on my heat gun to show up. But as you can clearly see, still have lots of room back there, more than I thought I had. And this will be even less of a worry a couple weeks down the road when I get the spacer lift put in. You come to the other side kind of for comparison. It's easy to see with having that plastic there still that it looks like you got no room. So it's nice to kind of know that if I am hearing some scraping, it is literally just plastic on plastic kind of stuff, and then I've actually got quite a bit of room without worrying about hitting the metal back there. So same with up there, anywhere else. Yeah. So around to the passenger side now. It's a little more obvious someone's been in here. Like the whole wheel well liner itself is mounted to the outside of the, as opposed to the inside. I've got random bolts over here, and I've got a lot of missing clips. So we'll see. Definitely someone's been in here. Hopefully they were just in here because they were doing the pinch weld mod for me. Otherwise, there's no explanation why one side is done and one side is not. And again, you've got these clips, pretty straightforward. You can just kind of pry in there, loosen them. Really, at this point, with all the ones I've got to replace them, these aren't even really doing any good to me, especially since half are missing. If you can get them out without destroying them, great. More power to you. My luck is not going as smooth, or maybe it's my patience at this point, but either way. Out. We got the two in the back. These ones actually might prove to be difficult to deal with when I'm trying to put this back in with the tires installed on the other side, as my thought was. I literally just launched that one into the wood, so I'll be replacing that one. But here's the moment of reveal, aside from my messy wiring job. Was I lucky enough that someone did both sides for me? Sort of. This one is definitely not as manicured back as the other side, but you can tell that someone's been in there beating on it and painting it. So we will do the same as the other side. We will, like, I had that back really flat, so we will beat the living whatever out of that, and we will paint that, and we will kind of give everything a touch up on this side too while we're in here. Someone's done at least half the work. If I have to and I have to cut it, well, it's still a small job compared to what I thought I was taking on here. Here's you got a better idea of like how much is actually sticking out. The other side was significantly flatter. Someone obviously started there, got tired and half-assed on this side, but see what we can do here. So this is kind of the reason you'd normally do those relief cuts, because this isn't exactly easy to bend over. A couple cuts in there, this all folds like nothing, especially the couple hits from you kind of get the point. I don't really want to sit here and watch me beat on this thing for another 5 minutes, but essentially I'm just going to get that as flat as I can until I'm out of F's to give. Well, same as before, I've got everything bent over, pretty much flat now. I've gotten up into here, took care of all the big kind of sharp edges. Nothing else to really worry about, so now it's just a matter of kind of going back and double checking them. I'm sealed. You get as much of this stuff in here as you want. Job like this, like I said before, I wouldn't just gob it on. Take your time. Nice even coats. At this point, I'm sure that this is pretty much just for my peace of mind, my OCD. When I'm working on things, I like it to at least look like I've worked on things and been in there if I'm going to spend the time on it. That means usually cleaning up bolts, painting things, brackets, whatever it may be when I can. Well, that pretty much takes care of that. I've kind of taped everything off, cleaned it up as best I could. This is really, the back of that is the only thing really visible with that plastic wheel well liner in place. But again, I've taken everything off, sprayed everything down good. This is probably the most simplified version and missing pieces version of a pinch weld mod you're going to find. Hopefully at least you'll see some cleaner ways to do the aftermath. For the most part, all you're missing is me cutting into this and hacking the crap out of it with my attempt to use some seam sealer and stuff to really kind of clean things up better. So I don't know, maybe I'm a step ahead already since I didn't have to cut the crap out of things and still kind of got the same results here. Still waiting for that mysterious Amazon driver to come and bring me my heat gun. Not really going to do me any good if end of day means literally the end of the day. So for now, yeah, we'll put this back together. I'm really hoping that I can deal with this with the tire on. If not, well, it's not a big deal. Take some time to clean up some of the wiring I've got while I'm in here, and go from there. And I'm thinking we'll definitely just pop these back tires off and give it a spray, because this is kind of what it looks like when it's cleaned up. It looks real nice, and like I showed earlier, nothing but rock chips and just looks like crap up in there. So overkill and not really necessary, but will look a million times better with a coat of paint up in there. And addressing the rear, like I said, it was pretty much just to kind of clean it up in here. I didn't see too many issues despite all the rubbing that I was getting in here. Like, yeah, pretty much vehicle full of people. This thing pretty much filled to the max with diesel, and all our crap and luggage and the spare tire in the back. This thing was definitely hitting on some bumps. I can't see anything that's really worth cutting out. Like, it's gonna hit so many more obvious places before I have to deal with that. Some spots on the shock absorber it was rubbing, but nothing too much. And like I was saying earlier, you know, I've got a 2-inch spacer coming, or it's already here. I just got to find time to install it, which will probably take care of that a little bit too. And it's also not very often I'm running with a full vehicle full of people, and nor can I usually afford to have a full tank of diesel. So it was kind of like a worst case scenario, but doesn't look too bad. We'll give it a little spray, clean it up, and just put it back together. Kind of getting over this. Mysterious Amazon driver, where are you? So quick coat of paint won't hurt. Clean it up a little bit. So there, for nothing more than the time it took to lift the tire off the ground, a little bit of prep, like minimal prep. Looks a little better. Like I said, I wasn't trying to go super anal. Just enough that you can kind of see when you're going by. It looks a little cleaner. And yeah, simple as that. So definitely one of those jobs you can't really see, and you'll probably never notice, but I can notice. And when I'm walking by, I was able to spot those things once in a while, those chips. And same as the other side, a tiny little bit of work, just basically 10 seconds hanging over a sheet over the brakes, which look like they've been hit, but they're fine. Yeah, cleans things up a lot. I did do the same, which you probably won't be able to see in the front. Sprayed in behind there, and behind the shock absorber and all that, and into where that pinch weld stuff is done. But that's all going to be covered up by those plastic wheel well liners at some point, if Amazon ever brings me my heat gun. But as for that, that's kind of wraps up today's kind of maintenance or projects or to-do list on this thing. Looks a little bit better, didn't take any time, and yeah, that's that. Thanks for tagging along. This was my attempt to do the pinch weld mod on my 2008 Grand Cherokee, and someone has beat me to it. So I've taken advantage of bought all the tools and supplies and things I needed to kind of walk you guys through this, and turns out someone just made it a lot easier for me. Hopefully I didn't miss out too many obvious parts. Feel free to ask any questions if I could fill anything that I missed out on today with all the steps I had to miss. For the most part, just take your time, do a good job, and I'm thinking I'm gonna, when that Amazon driver finally shows up, we'll try that heat gun on getting that thing in, and if not, it'll be a toss-up between just letting the plastic wear through and then patching it when it gets to that point. Or maybe we'll cut things out and try a plastic weld patch or something like that down the road. For now, we'll just avoid the whole hacking the crap out of things and try and keep this thing as clean as intended. Anyways, that's that. Yeah, that was my day. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Well. Took the entire day to the point where the vehicle is done and we were going inside. But look what finally showed up. I've got my heat gun. Good times. Or so. What do you think, Max? You can't eat the delivery driver. Bark a little bit. Let him know he took too long. Well, I guess we're trying that tomorrow.